Show at 7:08. I'm Moira Bush.
I'm Nadira Dyalsingh.
And I'm Shannon Fraser.
And we are your 3-panel hosts for tonight to talk about
compassion.
So it's a nice meaty subject. So Nadira, this is your first time in front of a camera as a TV host on set.
Yes.
We have a virgin on the set. A TV virgin.
TV version.
Let's make it clear.
How's it so far? All 5 seconds of it.
All 5 seconds was great.
She's easy to please.
I love compassion.
You love compassion.
Yes.
Well, yeah. So that's the subject for tonight. And compassion. Yeah, lovely compassion. So my darlings, we're going to have on our screen here visible your comments, and we would love you to chat with us and interact with us and tell us a little bit about what you think compassion is for you. Do you practice compassion? Whatever you want to say about it. And that would be really great. But before we get going, we just have some housekeeping to do. Yeah. So we're a Facebook group and a live TV show. So it's the 707 Show Facebook group, public group. You can join. You must be a member to be able to chat to us. And we've got some exciting stuff that's been happening this past week. We've been running a campaign in the group.
Yes.
An awareness campaign.
Yes.
You're featured today.
I was today.
Yeah.
So we're doing fun facts about the different co-hosts. And so mine was today, and when I was 19, just a couple of years ago, yes? When I was 19, I was a makeup artist. I worked for Stars Glamour Photography, which was fun enough. What's this? And I ended up being the face of one of their campaigns. So pretty hilarious. Have to say though, it also meant that you had to have a before photo. So go back and check it out because I was asked like no makeup, wet hair, and don't smile in the photo. So it's quite the before. Yeah, we've got another fun one tomorrow.
Yeah, we've got another fun one coming out tomorrow. But there was one, I think it ran over the weekend with Amy Barroso, our TV host. That was funny. She revealed to us, we're getting to know the TV host. We're getting to know each other as well and sharing it with members in the group. And she did kickboxing and she taught women.
Yes.
Yeah, and she said what wasn't in the little banner that we put up. She did it to help them get in touch with their masculine side.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Some balance.
Yeah, so that's what she said. So keep an eye out for those and comment on it and have a little giggle with us as we haul out all our very old photographs.
Yeah, I have to say it was hard to choose. I was going through, it was hard to choose.
And reveal our dirty secrets.
We are also running a contest, an audition, a competition, however you'd like to call it. We're going to give you the exact details at the end. We'll sort of flash it up for you. But we want one of our audience members, to sit on the couch with us. Yeah. So you have that opportunity. We already have people contacting me, so you go ahead and contact me for that. And
it's free.
It's free.
Totally free.
Yeah.
It's because we just want to get to know you and bring some fun people on set with us. And because for us this is a lot of fun.
Yes.
This is literally us taking something that we're very passionate about, which is talking about our community, talking about spirituality, talking about being healers and helping other people, and just putting it in front of a camera. And we'd love you to join us. And if you feel you've got something worthy to share on camera with our audience, with our viewers, with our group members, let us know. So can we just have a quick look who's joined us here? Joan Frances Boyle has joined us. Joanne, hello darling. Hello. Sarah Charmaine has joined us. Norma, hello darling. Hayden Crawford all the way from Australia.
Oh, wow.
I think it must be morning.
Yeah, isn't it like the middle of the
Amanda
night?
Bradbury, oh my goodness. And Hayden,
You guys are up awfully late.
And Deborah Ferdinand's joined us. Yeah, we met Deborah at a meeting last week where she's spoken to the 707 TV host. We're looking at doing a collaborative book, a book on healing, a book that's got powerful healing energy and messages in it. And Deborah is our writing coach for this potential project. That's fabulous. Thank you so much for joining us. Jean Francis says compassion is all about being able to forgive oneself. Oh, that's nice.
It is.
That's nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Okay, so Nadira, this was your topic, darling. Why did you choose Why did you choose compassion as your topic?
Actually, this was last fall when we had the 2019 predictions workshop with you, and I pulled the red card, the red angel, and I was told to be more compassionate for myself. So I started thinking about it, and that day I started writing down things, and I thought I was compassionate to myself, and I'm doing all these nice things to myself, but I realized I got stuck. That was it. I had a few items. I just got stuck. And but the more I researched into it, I realized compassion, it's so deep. It's absolutely incredible. It's so deep. And it's actually, you're aware of someone else's hurt, and you can do something about it, and you want to do something about it. And with
So you did a whole research on this.
with my self-compassion is bringing that to myself, being more aware and doing something about it.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So what is compassion?
So, anybody?
Oh, Hayden says it's 8 a.m. here. We've got relatives staying from the UK. Well, then you have to be up if they're sitting with time zones. Okay. Also UK, but I live in Florida. Joan says, oh, that's fantastic.
Cynthia Stone has reached out to me.
Oh, fabulous. Oh, do you think she's going to be on the set?
Maybe.
Come on,
she's reached
Cynthia.
out.
Reach out. There we go. We're looking for TV hosts. All right, so you said the Dalai Lama, when you were doing research, the Dalai Lama said something about compassion.
Oh, yes. I can tell you exactly what he said. He said, love and compassion are necessities, not luxuries. Without them, humanity cannot survive.
That's kind of dire warning, isn't it? But it's true.
Yes.
It is true. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Okay, and what does it take to be in a state of compassion? That was something else you highlighted.
You get points like awareness of suffering. If you're aware of somebody's suffering, you can direct to do something or get someone else to direct to do something. And for example, Mother Teresa, she was aware of all the people in need in Calcutta, in India, in the slums, and she was doing something herself, and she was getting people to do something by doing.
How do you become aware of suffering? Because I mean, if you're privileged, you're wealthy, maybe you're not aware of it. You live in your own little bubble, or maybe in your own life you've got so much struggle going on you don't think about noticing other people suffering. So I don't know. How old were you when you first, Shannon, realized?
Yeah, we were kind of talking about this
suffering.
briefly. I was in about grade 6, so here in Canada that's around 11 or 12. And I don't know what made me suddenly think about it, but we were in class and we were talking about war. And it was the first time I had heard that, while I am perfectly safe in my bed in my house, that there would be other kids my age, with bombs and, their family dying and things like that. And just it was almost so hard to grasp. But then when I did, I was so upset about it for quite some time. And that was the first kind of awareness. I feel sorry for my parents because, this was like 11, 12 o'clock at night, me waking them up going, what are we going to do about these poor children?
Wow.
We can't. How can we just sleep like this?
Yeah.
It was very vivid. What about you guys?
Yeah. Well, for me, I was probably about 11 years old, and I'd started reading, I don't know why I became obsessed. I started reading everything about the Second World War and what the Jews went through. And I became aware of the Jewish community going through this incredible suffering, and I was so caught up in everything. I read and watched every documentary I could. War of the Worlds. I mean, I just watched absolutely everything, read everything I could lay my hands on, and I wanted to know about what the suffering was. How do you overcome that? So I was fascinated by it on one level, but I remember crying when I was reading, about it. So I became aware of the Jewish community and their suffering, but it touched me very, very deeply. I think I I think I became more aware of the world. It expanded my consciousness. I became more aware of that there's other people in the world. Because, I was the bottom of Africa.
Yeah.
I didn't really know about Europe and what was going on. We were taught about the Boer War. Tribal wars. We didn't learn about European wars.
Here, we learned about
was not important.
French-Canadian War, Surrey MacDonald, that kind of stuff. Yes.
Yeah. So I did become aware of it, yeah.
As a street people, I first realized street people suffer. And they just maybe not physically hurt, but in need of things. So emotionally hurt. Yes.
So we'll just have a look here if anybody else has said anything. Sarah's tuned in. Catherine Blue is tuned in. Hello, my darlings. Welcome to the show. We're talking about compassion tonight, and it's Nadira's choice of topic. And she's really asking here, what does it take to be in a state of compassion? And the slides that Michael, our producer, is actually showing you, they are quotes that you found in your research by Thupten Jinpa. And he's actually the translator for the Dalai Lama. And this is his interpretation of what the Dalai Lama said about, and what does it mean to, or how do you get into a state of compassion? The first one we've spoken about is an awareness of suffering. And there's a second one.
Emotionally moved by suffering.
Yeah,
And I would think that probably, like, the time gap could be totally different for each person awareness, right? Like being aware of it and going, wow, that's something. And then being emotionally moved by it. I mean, I think for me it was the same day, a lesson in the afternoon, and then, while I'm laying awake in bed. But I think also that can happen maybe over weeks or even months.
Yeah.
To actually be emotionally moved by it, or maybe it happens right in the moment. Sometimes.
Well, I think you if you're triggered and you're feeling empathy, or you're feeling some kind of connection to it, that there's an emotional connection, that you realize that something in you is bubbling, something feels different. And I mean, the picture you put there, Nadira, of Lady Diana or Princess Diana is perfect, because she showed it in her face, didn't she? You could see she was emotionally moved when she went around to the charities. It wasn't just a job for her. There was a connection, emotional connection.
Yeah, and I remember at the time it being a big deal, because most of the other princesses and things like that did this type of work, they just kind of waved and, took pictures. And she was, one of the first ones that just reached out and grabbed the babies and hugged them. And at first she was told, you can't do that. That's not what a princess does. And she said, you're not going to tell me what to do. So
looking at the picture, you can actually see the emotions of it. The awareness is actually the sympathy part of compassion, and the emotional part is the empathy.
There's Hayden has just said it now, Nadira. Compassion to me is the ability to be able to identify with the needs of others and empathize with their circumstances via your own experiences. I think if you're emotionally connecting to someone suffering, there will be a memory of you having maybe suffered somewhere in your life, and then the emotion can be brought to the surface with this new thing that you're going, so that empathy, that feeling of, I kind of have a feeling what they're going through. You know what I'm saying? Hayden, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, and then Thupten Jinpa also says, the third point that you brought up in your research, Nadira, what is it take to be in a state of compassion, is a wish to see the relief of suffering. What do you think he meant by that, or how?
That's the action you take. So when you become aware, you sympathize, and then you got the emotional part, you put yourself in their shoes, the empathy part, then you do something about it.
Do something. So you wish you want to do something about it.
Yeah.
I think that's probably why you're a nurse, and you're just one of the most gentlest, compassionate people I know. And I know that as a nurse, that you have to have that ability to, to want to alleviate suffering. It's a calling, isn't it? I wonder if it's at this stage where people get that calling, like we have, to be healers. So what suffering do we want? Hey, that's a good question. What suffering do we want to alleviate? Think about it. Come on, guys. You tell us what suffering would you like to alleviate? If you're aware of suffering, what suffering would you like to alleviate? Who's suffering? Who are we making a difference to by doing a show like this, for example?
Actually, both to ourselves, because we are learning more about it. We are tapping into ourselves. We're getting in tune with ourselves. And by sharing it, the audience is recognizing themselves in us and what we are saying.
Yeah.
So it's sort of raising the vibration on both sides.
Both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's also education, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, alleviate suffering. Are we alleviating your suffering around fear of being in camera? Nadira? Are we doing that?
I think so. I think the audience is doing a great job at helping me.
Joanne says, my first instance I remember of experiencing compassion was at 6 years old, seeing my dad after his open heart surgery. Oh, honey, yeah, that sometimes, it could be that young,
Yes.
and it would be immediately in the family.
Yes.
When you see somebody in pain, or if you lose a pet as well, it triggers all sorts of things. Compassion. I love that you chose the picture of Jesus there as well. He wanted to be a healer. He wanted to alleviate suffering. He had that calling, and I think that's the calling we all respond to here. Yeah. And what's the fourth one, girl? Let's share it with the audience.
When you say responsiveness and readiness to help relieve that suffering.
Yeah.
So I think with all three people we spoke about, they all wanted to act upon it. And that's the response. We have a picture here of
the Red
Cross. And they are taking action. So it's just like Mother Teresa took action, Princess Diana took action, Jesus took action, and the Red Cross will take action. So that is the compassion part. That is your awareness, your emotions, and you've done something about it.
Yeah.
And it's not only you have to go and do something about it. You can, if you can't do something about it, you can get somebody else to do something about it. And when you see that person relieve, you're happy. You're happy that you've not only contributed, but you're happy that you've alleviated the hurt.
Yeah. And in the form of charities, even, give money. I remember Christmas time, I was thinking about my family were coming and we're going to have this great time. And I got this message from Chef Jagger saying he was collecting money to feed 5,000 people. And I've spoken about this before on the show. He's doing great stuff here in the city of Toronto to feed hungry people, and he said he was just looking for some money to buy turkeys to cook them a meal. So I thought, that's great. I don't have to go and volunteer or work or do anything. If I just send him money, at least I know something's happening, because I'm really busy with the family. I've got commitments to the family, and that's what I did. And I love that feeling that I was contributing in some small way towards an event at Christmas. So if you do you feel that that's sometimes what you guys like to do, our audience out there, that if you're going to act on something, when they have floods and then they ask for clothes and disasters, and
Red Cross relief.
And when there's earthquakes and that, they give you these, they've got fundraisers, you can put money in it, and I think it's great. I mean, I wouldn't know what to do if a building fell down, what to rescue people, but hey, we can give some money to get them there to do the work, to have dogs and everything else they need to. I love that.
So that's an act of compassion on your part. It's not directly you doing it, but somebody else who can do it. So you've taken action.
My family is pretty notorious for taking up collections. About twice a year or something, there's something like that they want to take up for collections for. And right now my cousin is teaching in I think the Philippines, and so we recently got, I have a giant family, so we recently got a big Facebook group message. She's coming home for a month, and she wants things like all used items, pencils, erasers, like loose paper, because they only have pencils that they'll share, maybe 4 pencils for the whole class that are this big, so it's even just sometimes not even she's asked us, go through our desk drawers, what do we have that we can spare?
Can we make that a campaign for the 707 show?
Yeah.
All right, so please call list the items. What do we need?
I will.
And if we can also put it in the feed of the show,
I will,
Shannon,
yes.
And let's take action.
Yes.
Let's make it happen.
Pencils,
Right?
Yes.
toothbrushes was one that actually
Toothbrushes.
gave me
Okay.
a heartbreak. They dental care is not a huge thing there, so they have 4 toothbrushes in the classroom that the children all share.
Okay, guys, I'm sure we've got toothbrushes
Sure, we
lying
have
around
toothbrushes.
somewhere that we're not using.
Yes.
Toothbrushes, pens, paper.
Pencils, paper, anything for you could think of for a classroom.
What age group are these children?
I think it's about 5 to 12, 5 to 13.
So crayons would work.
crayons, stickers, school supplies.
School supplies. All right.
And toothbrushes.
Okay, and
little
where?
hotel
Okay,
soaps.
so we need a point of collection for this.
Yes.
Right. So, what is going to be the point of collection?
I don't know. Where
Number 3, 4, 5. I just volunteered.
I was just waiting for her to volunteer, really.
I just want to make an announcement to my darling husband. You've just lost your garage. You've just lost it. I'll get a big bin. I'll put it there. So, please contact us. Let us know if you've got supplies. And let's take action. And so what deadline do we need to gather
It's
it
March.
by?
She's coming home in March, so I
Okay.
will find out the exact date, but I know it's March. So we've got a few weeks. It's only the beginning of February
Okay.
now.
All right.
And I will also post up all of the items
Yeah.
that they've asked for sure.
Okay, so if you are in on this drive with us, I need you guys to share the show now and let people know. And get the list out there when Shannon has it published. And let's see if we can gather a whole bunch of goodies to send off to these wonderful children. Okay, let's have a look at Joanne. Yes, Shannon, I love that. Please let us know when the items are due. Toothbrushes, pencils, pens, school... Yeah, okay, there we go. It's all there.
Thanks,
I have
Shannon.
boxes of pencils. Made. Oh, yes.
Yay,
we
thank you.
That's
Right,
great.
we are responsing and relieving suffering.
Perfect.
Yes.
There we go. Nadira, you're amazing.
Oh, thank
So
you.
you've just started a whole drive here for us on the 707 show.
Thank you. So you don't have to wait until Christmas to have Christmas boxes.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it during the year.
Do it during the
Yes,
year.
great.
All right.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
Shannon, this is up to you now to do
will.
this. I'll be a point of collection for people
Perfect.
to drop stuff, but you will need to coordinate it, get the
will.
information out there, and let's make this happen. I think it's going to be
Great.
fantastic.
Yes,
Thank
My
you,
cousin
guys.
is going to be so thrilled. Thanks.
Yes,
Yeah.
and all
Yes.
the kids who receive those
Well,
will
that's
be
it.
ecstatic.
She's with them every day, all day, and she
Yeah,
just
great.
thinks about how lucky we are here, and how much they don't have there, and she has to do something. So
Yeah. I hope she'll have lots of extra luggage weight. Otherwise, we'll have
yes,
to organize.
I
to
think
ship it
some
out.
people are donating some money so that she can ship it there.
Oh,
She can take some of it home with her, but
yeah. How's that, Nadira? You started a movement.
That's great. Wow.
Because we're all about
Nice.
education. It makes sense. We're all about education. Let's
Yes.
send educational materials over.
Yes, put it into action. Yes, put into action what you've heard here. That's great.
So we're Mother Teresa, Princess Diana, Jesus, and the Red Cross rolled into one. There's nothing grand about that at all,
Just a powerhouse.
Oh, that's
Yes,
fabulous. So we didn't
that's
plan
great.
any of this. This is very spontaneous. So that's absolutely
Yes,
brilliant.
it's
Thank you so much. Okay. So please, if you have enjoyed the show, you need to be sharing the show, and especially now that we've got a drive for educational materials for a school in the Philippines, we'd like you to share the show, please, and let's reach as many people in Ontario as we can so that they can bring some goodies to ship over. Okay. So Shannon, I think we maybe need to remind them a little bit about the audition again.
Yes. So at the end of the season, we want to have one of you audience members here. And so just to remind you how it works, you audition through the group. You can actually just send me a private message. So you can either send me a video or you can write it out to answer the 3 questions that we have. So it is also in the feed as well. He's posting it right now, but I also mean it's all over the 707 group feed. But the questions are, why do you want to be on this show? What spiritual topic do you want to talk about? And what host do you want to host with and why?
Yeah.
So
who's your favorite host?
Yeah. Who's your favorite
I'm
host?
anchor. I'm here because I make the beginning and end work, so I just kind of anchor.
She's
things
always
in.
going to be here.
But you need to pick a TV host, and to do that, they can see the information we're putting out.
Yes, absolutely. So have some entries rolling in. So keep them rolling in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now that's going to be exciting. I love
Yes.
that we're doing that.
Yes,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's really fun.
It is great stuff. All right. Nadira, darling, how was this for you?
Actually,
You're alive.
Still here.
actually, it's not as fearful as I was expecting.
Yay.
Yes,
Okay.
it's great.
Oh, hi, Abby.
Actually, it's a really great topic, and thank you for all the input from the audience. It's amazing, and out of this, look what came out.
I know. I'm so excited
Lots
for the
of
show to be
joy
done
for
so I
lots
can
of
message my
children.
cousin.
I know we're kind of going over time, but I want to just say here that there was a third item on your list that you were talking about is what can we do to be compassionate to others and practice self-compassion. But I think we answered that one.
I think
We
so.
just stepped right into it, didn't we?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
it's
but
an
self-compassion,
self-compassion,
different
like it's
story.
just simple things like make sure you drink your water. It's like self-care. You're being compassionate to yourself. Your body is dehydrated. Drink water. Eat on time. Exercise. And I do a lot of self-reflection. So with self-reflection, you get to know yourself. You recognize what's happening inside, and you do something about it. You just don't beat up yourself
Yeah.
and just stay there in all the negativity. You move on.
Yeah.
That's one of the things they say people with high levels of compassion do. So get in the flow, get in the move with those people. You know, learn to accept what happened. Like today, I'm being authentic. I accidentally deleted all the research I did on this topic. However, but in the past, I would have really beat up myself and said, oh, this is pathetic, this is horrible, everything. But you know what? It's done. I remember the stuff. You have inputted in the stuff. And I can move on. And I can still share. I can still learn from you. I can still do things. You know. And it's great that I can talk about it. In the past, I wouldn't have talked about it.
But to beat
So
yourself
it
up
brings
for
out
days.
the authenticity in you. And then you can recognize yourself in someone else. And that's what they said. The empathy part of compassion is I'm you. You put yourself in their shoes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so when you get that feeling, that emotion, you can do something about it. And so the more you do for yourself, the more you're motivated to do for others because you recognize. And the more you see they have improved, it brings that joy and it lifts you, it lifts them, and it just goes up, and the vibration raises. And it's just great. It's wonderful. It's
This
so
is a master
honestly,
lesson
it's-
from Nadira
yes.
in being
It's just-
self-compassionate, being compassionate to yourself. I love it, Nadira.
It's great.
And thank you for sharing that. Yeah, and I do know that about you. When your technology plays havoc with you, you do beat yourself up.
Yeah.
So well done for not doing it, because I think it's and thank you for sharing that too. That's from the heart. We really appreciate that. Isn't she lovely? Are you coming back?
Yes, there's so much more to talk
I know.
about this.
I saw the research document. It was massive. We'd love to take the story of compassion a bit further. I think it would be really lovely. So everybody's just saying you're wonderful and they love you,
Thank you.
and they're sending you lots of hearts. Look at Anne; she sent you lots of hearts and kisses.
Thank
So
you.
they've
Thank
appreciated you as well. Look at her. So, Miss Shannon, self-compassion. What are you going to do for self-compassion this week?
This week? Ooh, this week. I hadn't thought that far ahead. But something I have been doing is, so I have a 14-year-old daughter, and I am extremely compassionate towards her. So I've been, much like you know, what's the inside talk for myself? I have been, wait a second, let's back this up. What would I say to Hunter, my daughter? You know, what would I want her to be feeling right now? And then I'm doing that to myself. So she's upset, for your example, right? She's deleted a school project or something, and she's beating herself up about it. I would be telling her, it's not that big of a deal, let's just talk to the teacher and that kind of thing. But if I did it, I'd be, waking out for days. So I'm trying to bring the outside compassion in, and I'm using her as my muse.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You have heard it from the TV host here on the 707 set, all about self-compassion. And we have started a collection project of educational materials for a school in the Philippines. And please, we're going to put details up and give you my address as well, so you know exactly where you can drop it off. And I think we're onto something here. Thank you so much. Thank you, Nadira.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you,
It's really
Shannon.
exciting.
God, no, she's so cute. We all just want to hug Nadira. She's got the most beautiful, soft energy. I hope you've really felt it through the camera today. So next week we are hosting Dwayne for a very interesting topic.
Yes, money and unicorns.
And if you want to know what that's all about, you've got to tune in next week and hear from our fabulous friend Dwayne, our TV host friend. So thank you, guys. Thank you. And thank you everybody for tuning in. We've really appreciated it. We'll be going back after the show to look at your comments again and stay connected. So please share and ask people to join the group.
Thank you.